Hey everybody, welcome to Songshape Studios, where it's all about making your music work for you. In today's episode, we're going to be finishing our discussion with Bryan Andrews and Blake Phillips of Pariah Productions. Hope you enjoy. Yeah, we've been taking the same approach as we did on Letting Go with the new
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm really stoked about it. I think every track that I've gotten from y'all is great. Drums are killer, and I've had a great time working on and adding on. So I'm excited to see the final project on those.
Yeah, man. Me too. I'm excited to get him back, from Ryan. He's doing the lead guitar stuff on some of them. And so I don't know, man. It's just like too late when I listen to that. Like Blake's kind of, he's not into like super slow, chill vibe. But like to me, Too Late sounds like the most clear, chill pop punk song that I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, I think to me it sounds more like 2000s rock. It has like Third Eye Blind vibes.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
it's definitely like late '90s, early 2000s.
Right.
Music.
Like, because even the drums are that way on it. Because I don't know if we had that vibe last night. I mean, I think we did because we were sitting there talking about like, yeah, let's like listen to Jumper or something, before we
Yeah,
before we ride them or stuff. And I don't know, it came to get what you sent back was like, to me, I was just phenomenal, and I was like, dude, this song is gonna sound so good. And it's fun to be like that because you just know how good it is and how good it's going to sound, and how, like, for me, from an artist standpoint, like I can't wait to start promoting it because
yeah,
it's going to be people that don't like it, but there's going to be people that are like, whoa, man, like this is different, and it is different.
Mhm.
So I don't know, I'm excited. Like, maybe it might flop, but I don't care because I love it. So
Yeah. I think it's gonna do well, man. I think a lot of people. I mean, yeah, as we said before, everybody grew up on that kind of music, and to kind
exactly.
of throw it back to it a little bit and give it like a nod is a lot of people are going to
Yep.
appreciate that. What
Yeah,
kind
man.
of promotion techniques do you use?
Skits on TikTok, social
Yeah.
media. I mean, like that. Like, I hate to be that way, but the only reason I'm sitting here right now is because of social media. And like, I think I didn't realize that not a lot of people. Hold up. I didn't realize that not a lot of people, like, who were musicians, trying to make it and stuff, really didn't think social media was like that big of a part, because like that's how I became who I am, was because of social media. But a lot of people, that have been doing going out and grinding and playing live shows and everything for a long time and really made a name for themselves, they're like, yeah, cool, you're on TikTok, or like whatever. But then, I'll show up to live shows with 170,000 monthly listeners on Spotify while they have 400. And it's like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing shade, and I'm not bragging about that. I'm saying, like, dude, this is like, you sound good. I'm not saying you don't sound good, and you have a huge live crew that goes and watches you everywhere you go play. So why not take advantage? Because you have a fan base, and
Hmm.
one of those people that you're playing to every night, I promise you they get on TikTok, or I promise you they get on Instagram. And if you say like, hey man, I'm getting on this social media, boom, you already have a fan base. You don't have to start at zero. You know what I mean? And you can use that to your advantage when it comes to promotion and stuff like that. I think a lot of people also get wrapped up into like mailing lists and like websites and stuff like that. And it is important to do those things. I think, like, even in my career though, I haven't got to a point where I'm mailing out like, hey, like, personalized emails where I'm saying, hey man, coming out with an EP. Maybe I should, but like, I don't know. It's worked out to just promote on social media, what I mean? Because, like, especially with TikTok, there's so much organic reach that why wouldn't you use it?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so much exposure for up and coming artists now. It's like there has never been an app like TikTok that has helped out the indie guy as much as
Yeah,
TikTok does. You know what I'm saying?
definitely. Yeah. No one or everyone who got signed in the past year got signed because of TikTok.
Yep.
No other reason. I mean,
Yeah, literally.
I mean, they're good, but I knew them in Nashville before TikTok existed, and they were not on anybody's radar. At the end of 2019, there was a whole other batch of people that everybody was talking about, like next big thing, next big thing. COVID hit. They're like, oh, let's slow down. And that's when like Priscilla Block, Lily Rose, and Chris Rudiger, like
the
got
615
on TikTok. Yeah, the 615 house.
Yeah, Ashley
just took advantage of TikTok. And
they did a great job of it too. You know, like Priscilla really did a great job with Just About Over You. I mean, she like took the world over with that song.
Yeah.
You know, or at least took over Nashville with that song.
Mm-hmm.
And which is awesome for her. But like everybody in that 615 house, I bet there's not one member of that 615 house that has less than like probably 100,000 followers on their own personal TikTok accounts, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Cooper Allen, he's got like 5 million followers on there.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's doing music with Colt Ford now and stuff like that. And like Alexandra Kay, I mean, look at her. She's flying too, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
But it's all about, and you did the same thing, just recognizing what's there and using it. And I think, I mean, whether it was COVID or not, I think some people in Nashville definitely hit COVID and they were like, this is a vacation. And some people were like, no, I need to stay busy. How am I going to stay busy? And it was TikTok. And and now you don't even have to live in Nashville. Like you don't live in Nashville and you're doing better than the majority of artists in Nashville. So and I think it's just recognizing social media and recognizing how the world is. I've written with artists in Nashville and they're like a direct quote, I hate social media. I wish it was like the old days where they wanted to invest in an artist, and that's not going to happen. Like,
nope, never again.
Never again. Why would they take their money and start you from the ground up when they've got people who already have a fan base that they can just
they can profit.
Extra 20% of the work and then make a fortune off of.
Yep.
And a lot of people are just like, I've heard that from multiple people, but like, oh, which was like the old days where they wanted to like invest. I was like, I wish a lot of things.
I was gonna say, like, dude, I mean, it cool, but like, I'll also say this, like, dude, if you're talented, people will notice you on, you know, any social media too, especially like something with as much organic reach as TikTok. Like, I'm not the best singer out there at all. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not the most talented musician out there, but I'm also not afraid to show my personality, you know, be confident in who I am and my sound, you know, because like, that's like the whole alternative thing. It's stuff that's like really not been done before. I mean, like I said, we mentioned a few artists earlier, but it's not, I mean, emo country isn't like a thing, you know, and it's hard to be like, yeah, whatever, I'm going to bring this to the table, you know, almost like Tucker Bethard did, like with his sound and stuff like that. He was so fresh and had such a different, unique sound, but people like unique, you know what I mean? Like, and so I don't know, there's, if you're too afraid to show who you are and stand up for what you want to sound like and write real and stuff like that, you're not gonna make it anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Blake, are you bringing any, do you listen to country, or when you get these work tapes from Bryan, are you just like,
no, man, I don't. So that's the cool thing. That's what I was gonna say earlier. So like
dude, he hates it.
Yeah, I really do, man. I can't stand it. You won't ever find me listening to anything on the radio. You won't like I could literally go through the iTunes top 100 in the country genre and go junk, like all of it. I just can't. But that's all subjective. But I think that's what helps in this instance with Bryan as much as it does, you know, is the fact that like the music that I listen to helps me preserve the vibe that he's going after, just because that's music that I've dealt with my entire life. And then again with you and your experience with it.
Yes. It's got to have like we were all just talking about how we listen to pop punk, you know, but it's also got to like, you got to have people around you that are also like influenced by other genres to make it unique. You know, so go ahead.
That's what helps. That's what helps the most, man. I mean, really, that's what it is. Like, I can't tell you how many times I will, and sometimes I go overboard with it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, sometimes I'll send Bryan a revision of a drum track, and he'll be like, "That's way too much kick." But
dude, taking country back, we were ready to stab each other. Like, it was no kidding. I thought I was gonna be done working with him. I was like, bro, I hate you. I can't stand you. All over how the drum sounded in that song.
We just couldn't
didn't want to change them. I was like, dude, it's too much. I'm telling you, like, it's too much. And he didn't want to change them. And he wouldn't listen to me. You know, he didn't want to do it.
But then we ended up.
No, they are the same. Yeah, they're not the same.
The back half of the song is the picture perfect to a T, exactly the same. I have the MIDI I can show you.
It's not.
I don't want to bring up any old.
But now, like, it's hard.
No, man. But that's also like, everybody says, "Oh, don't work with family," and I honestly think that's garbage. And the reason I think it's garbage is because Bryan and I have look, man. You got
to be able to move forward.
Yeah, like the thing is we have this thing about us that just because, and maybe it's because of the way our parents raised us, you know, like, which thank God, you know, I'm very fortunate that they have raised us the way they did, but we have the capacity to look at each other and tell each other when we're being complete idiots and be able
most
to,
of the time.
Well, I mean, whatever. We just have that, you know, we have that ability to not take things, and we do take things personally, but not in the essence of like relationship ending kind of thing. Like, we fight all the time.
No, we say it all the time, dude. Dude, we're done. I'm done with you. We just had a fight yesterday.
But
like, dude, no. You know,
but at the end of the day, man, it's like we really do. The reason we fight so much is because we're both very, very passionate about the product at the end of the day.
Yeah, like, it's frustration out of like wanting to do just right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, so, I don't know. I think this project honestly hasn't really. I mean, we've been pretty much on the same page because, like,
and the more it gets into the realm of like alternative music and pop punk music, stuff like that, the easier it's gonna go, because that's been my jam since I was 13 years old.
Right, you know? But I think like that's where I'm like, you know, we still need to keep like the country sound, like the, you know, just like little things here and there, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think that's what you specifically, Davis. I'm very thankful that, you know, like I said earlier, like, everything happens for a reason. Because this is, you know, like you were saying, as far as the kind of music you wanted to work on, I think that this is really cool for all of us because, you know, you yourself as an example, your previous experience in the industry and like what you've had to work on and things like that, as far as production techniques and even marketing, or, you know, the business, you're able to bring that to this. So it's, you know, it's kind of like perfect practice makes perfect, you know what I mean? And that's now because we all three finally have an opportunity to do what we really wanted to do from the get-go. It's going to be better.
It's going to be really cool just to see, because like I don't know if you guys haven't heard Blake knows what it sounds like, but we have an idea of what that fifth song is going to sound like, you know, like the acoustic vibe, and then the whole, you know, it's going to sound whatever, just like that. But the cool thing about the EP is that not one song is going to sound anything like the other.
Yeah, they're all pretty different so far.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I just, with like Blame It on the Whiskey, I get almost like a Boys Like Girls, you know, like vibe, especially with that like tambourine and stuff. And I don't want to give too much away or whatever.
Yeah.
In the chorus,
tambourine is like my go-to. I love.
Right.
I feel like it's like the unsung hero of.
Dude,
music.
yeah.
Yeah, it's something that
if you were
not there
on Blame It, you had to have been just moving on
Well, yeah.
that thing, bro. Like,
Well, back to earlier, that's not even a real tambourine.
Yeah,
That's
dude, that's what I'm
MIDI,
saying.
but
Like, yeah,
someone was doing that to get some samples.
yeah.
But
But dude, that's what I'm saying. Like stuff like that, and then like Must Be Nice, I feel like it's kind of like the more country rock sounding song.
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. And then, with Too Late, dude, I don't know that. I really didn't think, I thought Toxic would probably be my most favorite. Like, and I'll have to wait till decide till, we get like lead stuff back from Ryan on that one. Just because I know, like, when I wrote that song, I was like, dude, this thing slaps, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So much probably, but I was like, man, that's going to be my favorite. And then you sent the stems for Too Late. And the more I thought about it, and I was like, man, I don't know. This might be the one, like,
Yeah.
because like it's not a beat, it's not like, but it's like that's like a driving song, like when you're watching a movie and a really good scene comes on, like that's the song playing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. And it does like have a country vibe too. I'll say like I can hear that vibe, in it, but I can just as well hear like, 2000s rock or punk rock, in that whole thing. So I don't know, man. I'm super excited. Like I said, I've never been this excited for a project. So, and I think,
man,
I think it's all of us, like I said, I get mad at Blake a lot. He gets mad at me, but I just feel like it's, like if I don't like something, I'm not gonna say I like it. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. There's everything in this whole thing. I'm too pumped for this, and like I'm probably getting my hopes up too much, but I just know like if I can promote this right, it'll be like, I really do think it could be game changing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just for not only for, like for like an artist standpoint of like what, everybody knows what I want to sound like, because like I still am small. A lot of people don't know who I am yet, but like this could be like the thing where we're just like, hey man, this is who we are, what we do, and it just vibes out, But I mean, I don't, dude, because that's the thing. Like, you don't listen to a lot of stuff, and you're like, man, there's one song on there that I don't like, but the rest of the EP or the rest of the album is pretty good. Like, I don't feel like you could listen to any of these songs and be like, dude, that song just wasn't good. Like, I don't like that song at all.
Yeah.
There's not that was on there. You know what I mean? And I'm biased, I guess. We're all biased because we made it, but still.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they're all good, and they definitely all stand out. They're not, none of them would be like, oh, they kind of sound the same. It's like they're all pretty diverse, which is good.
Yeah. And that happens a lot in like, that's basically all you guys like production wise, because like you can write songs on acoustic guitar and produce two different sounding songs that sound the exact same in the studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's a big, pat on the back, I guess you could say, for you guys, because I don't have nothing to do with production really. Other than, hearing the stems and be like, oh yeah, that's badass. Like, I don't really do nothing else, but yeah, man. And like, I feel like we had that vibe, with Too Late, like being in writers' rooms together and knowing what we like, the vibe for the song before we even started producing it,
Yeah. When we were writing that, I had like a vision of what it could sound like, and I think it's right there with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Man.
I mean, you nailed it. Like I said, I love it, dude. Like I said, it might be my favorite one, but I mean, I don't know about Blake, but he's more of like a heavy guy, so I don't really know which one.
Oh yeah.
he would
Toxic,
like. But
which one are you most excited about, Blake?
Probably Blame It on the Whiskey, man. Blame It on the Whiskey is
okay.
really good.
Yeah.
Because that's especially with like after my thing. See, it's cool because I'm a mixing engineer, so like my thing is I get like sound design ideas and all kinds of different things going on in my head as far as I mean, that whole process. So, and I could talk for hours about that. That's what I'm most excited for, is like because it sounds good now. But the cool thing about this whole process for me is going to be taking it to what it is now to what it will be when someone is listening to it on Spotify in their car. You know, that's my jam, bro. It really is.
You know, I think what was cool about Letting Go was like, you know, it sounds like it's really produced, but I don't think it's like overproduced or anything. I just think that, you know, like it sounds like a produced song that also is raw, you know,
Yeah.
especially in the vocal. I think that's what I bring to the table most, you know. It's like, it's probably because I don't know how to record right, but I mean, just with like that raw sounding, you know, just out there vocal, you know, it's like, it sounds live. It has a live taste to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that's like, there's been a void of realness and rawness in all music, but I think I think pop almost wants not raw. They want very like, and the audience wants that, but I feel like country audience wants some realness, rawness.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to have that. I feel like I remember listening to not country, brand new Deja and Tindu, that album, Play Crack the Sky, the acoustic song. You can hear, I don't even know what it's called, but it's when your fingers slide on the strings, like,
right.
They left that in, and I remember hearing that and being like, that's awesome. I mean, that's something that most people would have like scooped out or did another take where it's not happening, but you can hear his fingers on the guitar, and it made it that much better.
Right. It's just texture, man. Like, it's just, I don't know. Man, it's something that's been lost, you know, through time, because technology, that's why. But I mean, and we're so used to hearing that, like, or wanting that like Tesla product that is just this like and new, like, sharp, no defect whatsoever vibe. And it's just, music ain't like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So. I think a lot of people, for, you know, really, I mean, we're going to call a spade here. Like, the whole reason this is all happening is because of COVID, right? And the thing is, man, pre-COVID, I think a whole lot of people wanted this sense of like a fake reality. And now post-COVID, with everything, you know, which is why pop music and hip hop and all that stuff is so huge. I think now that everyone's like trying to get back to their lives, they just want that heightened sense of reality. They want to know that what they're listening to is real, but they want to feel like they're actually that. And that's my idea as far as sound design when I go through and mix this stuff, is I want the listener to be able to feel like they're seeing, like they can imagine themselves seeing it live in front of them.
Yeah, like
people miss that, you know, like that people miss real life experience through all of the struggle that we've had the last, you know, however long.
I agree. I think it's just all about like the word that comes to mind, I guess, that describes it best is just authenticity, you know, being authentic. So I don't know. We do a killer job though, boys. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, definitely. I've enjoyed working with y'all. Thanks again for letting me be a part of it. And
man,
been killer.
You mean
anytime, bro?
Thank you, bro. What do you mean? Holy cow.
That's what I mean, man. It's just like, it is such a team effort too. And like, I mean, it's so like, people get so offended nowadays, and it's just nice to be able to be like, you know, in a room with people where you can say something like, hey man, I don't think that's right, or like, you know, like, I don't really like that, you know, and be like, not hurt anybody's feelings, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And it just be like, because we're all working on this music together, you know what I mean? And I think that's how a lot of relationships go south. That's how, you know, me and Blake have a fight every day, but we always are just like.
But the end result, see, that's the thing, man. Like, sometimes that's the thing about picking your battles with the people, like, especially if you're working with your family. That's the one piece of advice I will give people that are working with their family, is that you have to pick your battles, but it's okay to fight, man. Because as long as you find some kind of compromise, as long as you find a middle ground, as long as you're able to hold each other accountable to being better.
Yeah, I think it's just a difference of ideas. I'm not saying you got to fight. I just am saying like being able to
I wouldn't
feel comfortable enough to say like, hey, I think this should be different,
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is like, if you do have a problem in your camp, you need to talk to the other person about it, because that's the one thing, the communication is key for real.
Yeah, and not hang up the cell phone, Blake.
Well,
he's a king hanging up on people.
Sometimes it happens, dog.
Well, we was getting into it yesterday. I was getting mad over something. It's like,
and then I gave him some act right.
Some stems weren't working right, and I was getting mad. I was getting frustrated, and I raised my voice, and then click, hung up.
I don't deal with it, bro. You treat me like a professional,
and that just made me more mad. God.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
But no, that's how.
Put up with it.
I don't know, man. I'm excited though. Like I said, that's why I've been talking so much about it, just because like I can't stop thinking about this music, these songs, like
almost annoying.
Yeah, when I'm watching TV or when I'm scrolling through TikTok, making TikToks, like I'm just like, man, I just can't wait to start.
I'll get random texts at like 2 a.m. Mind you, I'm 2 hours like behind him, so at 2 a.m, it's like 4 a.m. his time, right? And I'll just get random texts at 2 a.m. Dude, this is gonna be so awesome. And I'm just like, bro,
dude, when I figured out called the EP, I was like, because we're gonna call it the alternative, I think, and just title it alternative.
Oh, nice.
And just because it's like memorable, you know what I mean? But when I was thinking hard about what to call this thing, and I was like, man, maybe we just call it Must Be Nice or something, And then I was like, well, I wrote Toxic. I was like, man, maybe I'll just call it Toxic or something. And then I was like, maybe I'll just self-title it. But I was like, everybody does that. And then I was like, I had the idea for the alternative. And I texted him. It was like 3 a.m. I was like, dude, we got to call this EP the alternative. Or call and be like, hey, dude, this is what we're doing now. Like, did you get these stems? Or like, anytime, day or night, like, hey, man, blah, blah, blah. Like, I have to hear this right now, or I have to change it right now. You know what I mean? I'm going to bed. But, yeah, Dad's going to bed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Night, Pops.
But yeah, man, I think that's the vibe. Like, it's just exciting, because like I know that this music is like so unique. I think that's what excites me the most about it, is because like I don't think anybody's really heard stuff like this before in the way we're gonna brand it, you know what I mean, and market it and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's great branding. The alternative. I mean, there's shirts, there's hats. There's endless.
And like, I don't want like the alternative to be like coined Bryan Andrews thing, because obviously, like I said, there's other artists out there doing it, and I like huge credit to them because they're killing it right now, and they're doing it on a bigger scale than I am. They're just, like I want to join them in that dig for finding a new genre, so that people enjoy and find to help them, through their day or listen to music or whatever the case. So, but yeah, that's like, I don't know. That's what's fun about like the whole process, of just like seeing a song or a project, all these songs, being come from just a thought into fully produced. And not a lot of people see that, because they just see like they see it come out or pre-save link or whatever, and then pre-save it and then they listen to it. Mm-hmm. Those songs just don't appear, like just like they're literally a thought, and then they get wrote, and then they get put into a work tape, and then they get put into scratch demos, and then they get sent and put, fully produced, and then they get mixed and mastered and put, all kinds of crazy stuff together, and then they get marketed, and then they get listened to,
Yeah.
And that process can be so long. It doesn't have to be that long, but I mean, it can take, I mean, from a thought of a song years later, you could be like, man, I remember I had that idea. And then you write that song years later, or you write that song and then 2 years later you finish that song. I don't know. It's just, I'm excited to say that.
Me too.
So.
Definitely. Cool. Well, do y'all have any last words?
Chase your dreams. That's what I got to say. Take advantage of social media. Surround yourself with people you trust and people that you enjoy working with. Have common interests, but also different influence, and bring something unique to the table, and then go from there. Just work together, work hard work, do the little things.
Biggest piece of advice I could give, like an independent trying to do what we're doing, is keep your head down, keep working really, really hard. Worry about the product, because at the end of the day, it is all about the craft. Like if you're not good, then you're not good. And also, as far as social media is concerned, stay positive on social media. Things aren't going your way, there's a reason things aren't going your way. Hold yourself accountable and try to figure it out. That's
that's another thing.
Complain.
Change it behind the screen. Make the change if it's not working, but always stay positive. And like show the bad things, or show what you're thinking, or your personality, or your authenticity, but show ways that you overcame it. I mean, like, and never for the love of God be like entitled to anybody wanting to listen to your product, because they're not, or they don't have to. Like, make music that people want to listen to because it helps them.
And that's the biggest, in closing for me, that, we talk about how excited we are for this, that, and the other. The biggest thing for me, at least with this record, is how many people it has the potential to help through like a really tough time in their life or something like that. You know what I mean? Because it is about the music, but for me, it's not just about the music. It's making sure that you're taking care of people. And this is our service that we provide to the world. And if it helps one person get through a rough night, then I did my job.
Yep. It's not the value that the world can bring to you, it's what value you can bring to the world.
Yeah, definitely agree on that. Cool. Well, yeah, thank you all for talking, and for everybody listening, be on the lookout. You can follow Bryan on all social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and be on the lookout for a release date for this EP we've been talking about. And we will catch y'all next time.